Okay, so okay, so what have you been listening to, Lucas,
What?
recently? Like music? Have you been listening to anything different?
This is the surprise.
Yeah, hang on, just keep going.
Okay. What have I been listening to? Nothing new, really.
I've been listening to a bunch of specifically soundtracks, but I've been specifically listening to a lot of like kind of Western, like spaghetti Western music, and jazz, specifically bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
We're here to talk about anime.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wasn't that smooth as fuck?
That was totally smooth as fuck, dude.
Which I actually have. I have the
See, when you
soundtrack
said
on my phone.
specifically Bebop, I was like, fucking Jamie.
I
Okay.
actually do have the soundtrack on my phone.
That's a good
I've been listening
show.
to.
That's a good show with a good soundtrack,
I
dude.
fucking love the soundtrack.
Did we not already talk about anime?
We were talking about like the top 10 anime because we said something and then we're like, oh, okay, next time we're going to talk about anime. And here we are.
Alright. Well, I think we said we talked about the top 10 anime that everybody would know.
Which I think we'd have to. Okay, so we said Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that, but
Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Bleach,
I'd say,
Naruto.
I'd say Dragon Ball, of course, or specifically Z, because not a lot of people have seen Dragon Ball.
I mean, like, a lot of people have seen Dragon Ball, but like, it was way bigger in Japan than it was here.
Yeah.
And then
we
it
didn't
kinda-
get Dragon Ball until after Z, did we?
I think we got it. No, we got it before.
Oh, really?
But we got it. Definitely, like the popularity of that was kind of like saved by Dragon Ball Z.
Because Dragon Ball Z was huge. So
Yeah, dude.
It was Dragon Ball, Pokemon. See, that's when we had trouble because we were talking about
Whether
overall influential anime or anime that got people who didn't know what anime was interested, or
I say like whenever I say influential, I like that's a completely different thing than most known, because definitely most known, it's more like the five, and that's Naruto, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, Bleach. Would you say?
I'd take out Yu-Gi-Oh! I'd put in Dragon Ball.
Oh
'Cause,
yeah,
like, even if you just say
No, no,
anime, do
take
you know
out,
any
take out, Bleach, and put in Dragon Ball. Did
Okay.
I thought I mentioned Dragon Ball. Anyway, but yeah, but like as far as top 10 goes,
Or maybe Gundam.
Gundam, yeah, dude.
So take out.
Okay, hold on. Definitely Pokemon and Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Gundam.
Uh-huh.
I
Naruto?
want to say Yu-Gi-Oh over
No.
Naruto.
No, Naruto's.
No,
Well-
Yu-Gi-Oh was way bigger, dude, because it spawned or it had a card series.
See, that's what I mean by it's hard, because it's like, do you
But-
mean
but I'm saying-
the ones
okay.
that we watched as kids that influenced us, or do you mean the animes that were really like so many people were like, you know, I'm not a fan of animes, but this shit was good because
No,
if
yeah,
it was
yeah,
that, I'd
definitely.
even include
Like-
Cowboy Bebop. at
Like
that
nobody knows. Like if nobody knew what anime was, they would still know these shows.
point. Okay, that makes
So I'm
sense.
saying, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh is one of them,
Because of childhood.
and
Pokemon, Dragon Ball, Gundam. Well, now that I think about it, if you just ask anybody, hey, do you know what Gundam is? They probably won't know.
I mean, I feel like it was definitely a bigger thing in the '90s.
Well, yeah.
And if you asked like 20-year-olds what Gundam
Well, the
was,
same as like Sailor Moon. Like, wasn't
Sailor
those,
Moon.
Weren't those three that came out? Like, I don't know if it was like early 2000s or late 90s, but or even like early 90s. But it was like Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and Gundam were like
Yeah,
the
but
big three that were
they're-
like, what the fuck is this? A Japanese cartoon? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I think the current big three is still Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece.
Like right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I could be wrong, but and then there's like, it's weird because there's something that I've been noticing lately, and a lot of people I'm sure have noticed this, but like it's something that is definitely new to the anime world, and that's like the yearly, like art, like the yearly there's there's anime that comes every year, like there's one new anime,
Mhm.
and that anime is the anime. Last year,
13.
okay, 2 years ago, 2012, it would have been Sword Art Online.
I only found out about that last year, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
It was late 2012, and then this next one, 2013, Attack on Titan.
Okay, yeah, that one definitely.
Well, yeah, and that's getting.
Is that over? Like,
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's over. I haven't watched the other half of the series, but I need to. I watched the first half, and that's definitely 2013's anime.
Mhm.
I'm pretty excited for whatever 2014's anime is, it's kind of shaping up to look like it's going to be Kill la Kill. Only I feel like Kill la Kill isn't like completely.
It might be Space Dandy.
Maybe.
Well, because
Space Dandy is one of those like shows.
Wait, did that premiere 2014 or did that premiere late 2013?
2014.
Okay,
I believe.
Because I think like Space Dandy seems like the type of thing where it's like it wasn't like the anime everyone was waiting for, but it seems more like I don't know. Space Dandy seems like it seems like it could like after a while more people are gonna start watching. I guess.
I feel like, but okay.
Not that it's gonna be like the biggest one, but I feel like that one.
I feel like you're saying Space Dandy, and I feel like a lot of people aren't going to know what that is, and definitely the anime community might know what it is, but even people in the anime community, I feel, are gonna kind of like be like, what the fuck is Space Dandy? It's something specific to Toonami.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Toonami is, for those of you who don't know, this which it was way more popular in like the 90s and 2000s.
90s and early 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, and like it went off the air and it came back, and it's basically this late night Saturday night
Blog.
and anime block.
Yeah.
And it used to be from like 7 p.m. to like 11 p.m. Now it's like all night.
All night on Saturdays.
From like 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Because I remember before Toonami came back, Adult Swim on Saturdays.
They would still play anime.
They played anime on Saturday, but it wasn't like all night. It was like if you started watching like at 11,
you'd see like Family Guy and American Dad,
and then it turned like they'd show like maybe Boondocks, and then they'd show Inuyasha.
It would be Bleach first,
and then Inuyasha. And they had this there was this. What's the one show about this dude who everyone thinks? Well, he kind of is like a delinquent, and like he gets killed like in a car accident, saving this little kid, and he's in the underworld in this. I think it's death, but it's this little girl in a broom, and she's like, yeah, so you kind of died, and you're kind of in purgatory right now, but if you do these deeds or something, we'll give your life back. It was like Yu Yu
Hakusho.
Yeah,
I was slightly thinking like he's thinking Yu Yu Hakusho. I feel
it's
but I kind of don't want to say it because I feel like I'll be stupid. But yeah, he kind of was a delinquent, and then he ended up being like a really good guy in the end.
Yeah. So I remember that used to come on too. I remember I saw promos for that. Back when Adult Swim's logo was like a red circle. Or it was black and it was like a yellow. It had like a yellow penumbra, and then the words Adult Swim were in red, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I
think that's what it was. It was like a.
I've always remembered the Adult Swim as like the brackets and Adult Swim.
That didn't happen until like 2008ish.
Really?
I think. Yeah.
I know Adult Swim.
I remember specifically the circle, where it was just kind of like the image would just kind of jiggle a little.
I don't remember.
That's what I remember, basically.
I remember when Comedy Central changed their logo to the C's that were like.
Which I still like the old logo.
The city?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the city skyline.
Comedy Central, plus it just looks cool to me. I don't know.
It looks cool, yeah.
I like it. The new one's not that bad.
Yeah, it's okay. It's simpler.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like simplicity is definitely where, like, shit's going.
Yeah.
For a lot of stuff. Because it's like...
For a while.
You're trying to, like, with the internet and such, we're getting off the topic of anime.
Well,
like...
Fuck it.
Within, like... With the internet and everything, you're absorbing so much content that it's like, you don't want this big flashy thing, you kind of want to keep shit simple, so you can get through it quick.
Which is why Apple's really popular.
Apple sucks, dude.
See, I'm not huge into tech, so... I'm not super
That's
picky.
why Apple's good for you, though.
Yeah, that's what
it's
I mean.
just fucking expensive, though. Like, if you could take a PC of... Okay.
See, if I were to want to get into Steam or like do certain things on computers, I'd probably come to you and be like, "Hey, what do you recommend?" Because I probably wouldn't trust myself. Like, say if I just want to buy a computer that I can use Avid on, I'd probably just go to the Apple Store and get myself a Mac or something because I know, if that works. I've used it before, and it's like, okay, that's all I need it for. But if I wanted to do something much more intricate, I probably would ask you or just look online, which probably wouldn't be Apple. It'd probably be something like. Or you can order it at this place, and you just ask them what you want.
Yeah, I mean, like, speaking of anime,
yeah,
speaking of cereal, but anime is really good while watching cereal. Like that sounds weird, so good, but
yeah,
basically, would you? I remember you asked me my top 10. What are your top 10?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not like I love anime.
I know you're not big on anime.
Well, I wouldn't say I kind of want to say love, but it's kind of I'm a casual fan, if that makes any sense.
It's like, I feel like for you, it must be like, I really wish I could watch more anime,
Yeah, it's basically that.
but it's just kind of like never get around to it.
Yeah, so I'm like, I've seen all of Dragon Ball. I, for
So
some
good.
reason, like Sailor Moon.
I've seen all of Dragon Ball too. Sailor Moon's good. Sailor Moon was one of those things where it was definitely directed towards women.
Yeah.
But the story became so good and intricate. Guys were like, yeah, dude.
Plus,
Not to say that women can't like intricate stories, but like men aren't going to pick
there
up
was
on
more
a girly
stuff
show.
to it that made it more
Yeah.
for both. Plus, it gave little boys boners.
Yeah, dude, boners.
Yeah. So I like that, and I watched segments of Gundam.
I remember.
I read. I didn't watch a lot of Naruto just because I don't think I didn't. But our school library has
Naruto books, yeah.
Naruto books, and I
The
read
manga.
it all up until the first of Shippuden, like the first volume of Shippuden. That's
You
where
read all the way up to that?
Yeah. I read that all.
That's a lot of fucking.
Yeah, I read it all. Like it took a year, just over the course of the over the course of the school year. I kind of read it all.
And you read all that.
And yeah, and I got up to the first
That's
volume of
pretty
Shippuden, and our school didn't have anything after that.
You
So
said
I'm like,
Shippuden?
Shippuden.
It's like, a lot of people say it differently. Some people say Shippuden, some people say Shippuden. I say Shippuden, just because it's quick.
Shippuden. So I got up to the first volume of that, and then didn't have any more. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Shippuden?
And then I just didn't watch. So I haven't seen any of Shippuden.
Shippuden? Yeah, I also haven't like
I
seen
haven't seen any of the first one either, but I've read all of the first one.
I feel like that's kind of good that you didn't watch it, you rather read it. But watching it's definitely a good experience.
Well,
It's like a lot of
Naruto's tight.
flashbacks though, so
Yeah. It was around not when Toonami came back, but like maybe a year after Toonami came back, and then they're like, oh, it was
dude, Toonami's been back for like a while.
yeah, was
It
it
feels
2 years now? Did it
it's
come out in
weird.
2011 or 2012?
I'm pretty sure it was 2011
2011. Okay, so it's been
Possibly.
around 3 years.
or
About-
12. Or it was either late 2011. No, March. It was in March of 2012, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because wasn't it like I think I remember the 5 in the date.
Oh, and the
it said
Toonami's
Toonami's back bitches. Yeah,
Okay. I remember. So it was last year.
might have been March.
Yeah,
of
it was definitely
2012.
last year. Like maybe
2012. Oh, okay.
20, like end of summer 2013. They're like, oh, we got a surprise to you. We're gonna be playing all of Naruto uncut, like the original run.
Oh yeah.
So and then I started watching that. So I started watching that up until
The uncut is definitely the way to watch it. Like
Yeah,
I've
definitely.
watched the uncut, or I
remember
watched
when it
Naruto.
premiered. I think this is what I'm thinking. But the night it actually they started showing it uncut, they got up to the episode where they go to that like harbor town with that one kid who cries a lot and Naruto calls him a
Naruto.
pussy.
Naruto.
Yeah. I think I went up to that episode. That's all I remember specifically.
I think his name was Naruto.
Naruto?
Something that means sailor in Latin.
Clever.
So yeah, but
So yeah, well, I wouldn't say I don't really have a top 10. If I were to just name 10 that I like, okay, let's see, Sailor Moon I like, Dragon Ball I like, I guess. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I've watched more Yu-Gi-Oh than Pokemon.
have you?
Yeah, I watched probably most of the original run of Yu-Gi-Oh that had actual like Yugi in it. While I don't think I've seen most of Pokemon. So I guess I don't want to include Yu-Gi-Oh though.
I really.
Okay, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Cowboy Bebop definitely.
Here's the thing about
See, I couldn't make a list.
Here's the thing about Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. They set themselves up as those fucking amazing shows that you watched as a kid. And that sucks. Because they didn't grow, they just became kid shows.
That's what weren't we complaining about that about like I think last year we were talking about how you're like the original Pokemon was so cool because you watch the old Pokemon back then, it's like, oh, there's a haunted house, oh, it's awesome. Then you watch it now, friendship.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like the old Pokemon can be dark and shit, but the new one can't. And it's like
It was because it was an anime. Well, yeah, because it was like It's I know
It's
what you're
almost
talking
like
about. It's that thing where it's like
they didn't expect
it was an
kids to
awesome
watch it.
It was an awesome kid show, but now it's just a kid show.
Yeah.
It didn't really mature or anything. So, like if we were to take Avatar, which see that's
and
my
make
mistake.
M. Night Shyamalan make.
See, that's the thing. Like I was like, Last Airbender is one of my. Well, I guess I don't know. Would that be considered an anime?
And
Not really.
yes.
Really?
I mean, people don't consider a
There's
lot
two
of
different
things
divisions.
anime.
There's either anime is the style of animation, or anime is
From
animation
Japan.
from this place.
See,
And it's not always Japan though, because like
no, yeah.
Asia.
I know. There's German anime. There's Swedish anime. There's a lot of
What
anime.
was that one
And
French anime that was on Jetix? It was about like this futuristic. It was like pod racing from Star Wars, but the show was all about like these racers.
Fuck.
It was like a French anime. There was this one. The main character was this girl. I think this guy who was a mechanic, and he worked. They both, and then this either alien or robot, and the guy and the robot I think were like they were working like the guns and the weapons of the pod, and the girl was a pilot, and the series ran over the course of like a tournament, like them starting off rookie races and then finally getting to.
Holy shit! You just fucking blew my mind. I have never fucking seen that.
Really? It was on Jetix, and it was pretty entertaining.
I remember Jetix.
Jetix was cool.
That was like
if you don't have Cartoon Network, this is where you can get some anime. So Cartoon Network was where you saw the anime, but then you didn't have Cartoon Network like I did, and I had instead Disney, was it Toon Disney?
Yeah.
And then
Disney.
Jetix is like, hey, we're just gonna show a bunch of action shows.
Jetix is done now, though.
Yeah.
Instead,
I remember Jetix and Disney kind of molded into Disney XD because they're like, we're going for that same theme, but kind of didn't.
Disney XD just kind of became the like it sucks because
Disney Channel for boys.
No, not even. Disney Channel became that fucking live action girls channel for little girls.
This goes for Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, not Cartoon Network, because Cartoon Network doesn't do a lot of live action, but well, compared to Nick and Disney. But if you have a live action sitcom, and I'm using that term loosely, show on Disney Channel or Nickelodeon, if one of those characters gets popular, that actor will get their own show, and then they'll just continue a chain of like, okay, so
Sammy Cat.
all that came out. I think Amanda Bynes was on that.
Amanda Bynes.
She was popular. She got her own show.
The
The Amanda Show. A couple of the actors, specifically Drake and Josh, worked well together, and people liked
Drake
them.
Bell,
They got
Josh Peck.
They got Drake and Josh.
Worked well together, and they got Drake and Josh. Yes.
Their sister, Megan, played by Miranda Cosgrove, was popular enough where she got her own show, iCarly.
And from iCarly, the character Sam
Went
played
off-
by Jeanette McCurdy,
And went on a spin-off with
another spin-off character.
So let's go back to Zoe 101.
Okay, Zoe 101 had.
See, we know her shit. Zoe 101 had
Jamie Lynn Spears, who was, we can say she's a spin-off. That kind of like that's
she was
mean to
on
say.
Amanda's show, right? Or not all that, right?
She might have been on all that. She's Britney Spears' sister,
Okay.
and
She was from the Musketeers on Disney Channel, as was Justin Timberlake. Now, Justin Timberlake went on to join NSYNC. No, we're not doing that.
No, but we could totally do that.
No, you can. That's what I mean, but... Fuck it. Okay, so...
What
What
you're saying is famous people
specifically on Disney and Nickelodeon,
become famous because they're famous, which is weird.
which then people around the people that became famous because they're famous got famous because people liked them, so then they become more famous because they were famous, which then spins... Okay, so Jamie Lee Curtis, she might have been on the Amanda Show. She might have
What
been
did
on...
you say?
Jamie Lynn Curtis? Jamie Lee Curtis? That's not even who on the... Jamie Lynn Spears.
Jamie
Wow.
Lynn Spears.
Sorry.
I think you were like trying to combine Jeanette McCurdy.
No, I was saying Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh yeah.
But
Okay.
so
Oh yeah. Okay.
so I think she might have been on all that. I don't really know.
She might have been, but the point is, she's Britney Spears' sister.
And she got a show called Zoe 101, which is in retrospect not a bad show.
It's fucking amazing. In fact, what do you mean in retrospect? Inspect itself.
No, because I remember
into it.
well, at least for me, I watched it. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. But then when you're older, you watch it, and you're like, well, it's not like for me because it's not for older audiences, because there's not a curse word or a bunch.
I think it's definitely more for older audience.
It's older, but not. It's
I like how open.
kind of the same way that Toy Story is. Well, I guess it's a family show where it's not for children. Children can watch it, but then so can older people.
Like Drake and Josh.
Yeah, like Drake and Josh. Drake and Josh evolved way more into a. Those shows were done right.
Yeah, dude. And okay, well, anyway, Zoe 101 had this character. I forget her name in the show. But
she was played by
Victoria Justice.
Her name is Lola.
Lola.
I remember
Oh yeah. So she was like an actress
in that show.
in the show, and then she was popular enough that she got her own show
Years later.
called Victorious.
Victorious.
No, it wasn't even years later. It was like after the Zoe 101 finale. It was probably a year later.
No, because Zoe 101 finale came out before iCarly, didn't it?
Yeah.
Remember? Okay, so Zoe 101, then came iCarly, which was a spinoff from Drake and Josh. iCarly happened, and then like one of the later seasons of iCarly had this one episode where she boxed Victoria Justice,
Yeah.
and then from there came Victorious. So yeah, it was a while.
No, Victorious was around before that. I'm pretty sure Victorious was around before the boxing episode.
But fucking whatever. Okay, continue. So then she started the show.
So yeah, she did that show, and then there was this character played by Ariana Grande
Called Cat,
which
which everyone loved because not because of Cat, because of Ariana Grande.
yeah,
You know.
and she's like this ditzy character. I mean, she's a cute character.
Yeah,
And
it's not like Victorious isn't a bad show. It's just much more childish. I mean,
I still like it.
I don't like it that much.
It's less like. See, what I liked so much about Zoe 101 was that every other show at the time was like so in your face about it.
Except for Ned's The Classified, which did it perfectly.
No.
Because that show was a cartoon.
Here's what I'm saying. It seems like every single bit of every space in someone's house in a show at the time had like a little knickknack. And do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, I get what you mean.
And like that one felt so free, like Save the Dorms.
Yeah.
Like their dorms were pretty cool, like the way they were set up and everything. But like
That was like a living room. It was like, yes, that's their dorm.
But like that show felt so open. It just like whenever I watched it, I felt happy. But like say something like iCarly, there's so much shit everywhere that it's just kind of
They're
like,
trying too hard.
It's just kind of they're trying too hard to be that like that apartment in
Also,
Seattle.
I don't know if there was improv. I don't know if there is improv on those Nickelodeon shows, but it's something about them. Something about some of the things seem like improv. Where like in Zoe 101, the improv would just be kind of like they're just talking about something serious, and one will be like, "Oh, I dropped my fry. Pick it up." Nah, which for some reason made them realistic. That they're just like they'll be talking about something like which is the script because that's what controls the story, and then one of them will just be like, "Hey, do you guys like know this or whatever?" And like, no, what the hell? What does that mean? I don't know. That's why I was asking. And then they just kind of start a conversation, and some of those feel like they could have been improv. I don't know. Maybe they weren't. But that's what I liked about it.
Or like whenever they walk up, whenever they walk up with like the tray, and it's like, man, these mashed potatoes look really weird today, and it's like that could be scripted.
And then, but their reactions, like how, it's like talking about global warming, and they're like, man, global warming sucks. Yeah, it's too hot. And he's like, well, global warming don't seem that bad. It's like, well, they're just gonna have no weed, no water. Oh, well, then we'll just drink lemonade. It's like everything just seems like you can blame your problems on global warming, and then they're talking like, dude, I have to finish this paper, or I'm gonna get in trouble. You don't have to finish it. You're not gonna get in trouble. It's not your fault. Just blame global warming.
Yeah, dude.
They'll just start talking about random shit.
I fucking love that show.
If iCarly, if they do improv on that, it seems like the actors are trying too hard to be funny.
Because they're specifically about a show that is supposed to be improvical, and it's just terrible. Like, if I existed in that universe, I would not fucking watch that show.
Where are you gonna go? To splashface.com to watch some of those Pied cool videos? Because that universe doesn't have YouTube, I don't think. So,
I hate the world.
speaking about weird spin-offs, this is a weird theory I kind of put in my head like over the summer that I told my friend. Okay, so
every show is.
It starts off with Superbad. Right, the movie Superbad. The movie stars Jonah Hill and Michael Cera.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Michael Cera is talking to his crush, and like he goes to like bump her on the shoulder, and like some dude bumps into him, and he punches her in the boob. All right, cool. That's a joke. Funny. He punches her in the boob. That's awkward. 3 years later, Michael Cera stars in the movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. In that movie, he punches Mae Whitman in the boob. All right, cool. 2 years later, 21 Jump Street comes out. Jonah Hill is in that. And also Brie Larson, who played Envy in Scott Pilgrim, is in that. And Brie Larson gets punched in the boob, too.
So
this means nothing. But
so what you're saying is you think that their group, the group, we'll go ahead and call them Group Superbad.
Okay.
Because that's definitely something they're like.
The Judd Apatow Rat Pack?
Yeah, basically. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So them.
21 Jump Street isn't part of that group, but I'm
They
saying
like
it's really connected.
So you're saying they like boob punching humor?
I don't because okay, Superbad isn't Scott Pilgrim is not related to Superbad. No directors or anything like that. Neither are 21 Jump Street. They're completely different teams. So no, you're one. Stupid. I thought this out, but I just love that those that had a boob punch joke
Maybe
spun off into two separate movies.
Maybe
that did
Scott
boob
Pilgrim.
punch.
Maybe Scott Pilgrim got. They were like, we need someone who's already punched a boob before. Michael Cera. And then it's
Jonah
like,
Hill, hey, you want a boob?
and then 21 Jump Street came out, and it's like, can't get Michael Cera. We already asked, and it's like, oh, you did? Yeah, he didn't want to think about him and weed.
Okay, so
No. And it's like, okay, well then let's get someone who's like affiliated with the boob puncher. Oh, dude, his closest friend, Michael Cera. His other
like 10 years old.
Oh wait, his other closest friend.
With